As her resume grew, so did her reputation. As a sex toy, she says, for some of rap's most powerful men.
From your Jay-Z's to your Ja Rules to your Diddy's to your Mysticals.
Karine's behavior was perpetuated by an industry where men have the power.
I was definitely being passed around. But I let myself. It's what I wanted. I wanted everyone to like me. Anyone who was hot at that time because we traveled in the same circles.
Hey friend, welcome to my channel Karinealourde, where we deep dive and break down the most iconic stars in history. If you're not yet subscribed, please be sure to do so and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload. Now let's get into this juicy video. It's been a long time coming, but after my Tyra video, you guys was pushing so hard for me to do it, and we're finally talking about Karrine Steffans. If you just remove that R from her name, it would be Karine, just like mine. Sharing personal information about her life so that others might benefit from her mistakes and the things that worked in her favor is one of Steffans' strengths, okay? She is aware that at times she allowed herself to be used in ways that she may not be proud of, and that she experienced things that may not be relatable to everyone. But she also understands that she did what she did and that she cannot change it. Instead, she can write about it in the hopes of shedding light on the experience of others. The Vixen book series was mostly famously written by American novelist Karrine Steffans. With over 20 music videos under her belt, she has experience as both an actress and a video vixen. Steffans spoke about her role in the hip-hop industry and its expectations of women on several college campuses in 2007 and 2008 during her visits. Now let's get into her childhood, because how did she get here? So Steffans moved to Florida when she was 10 years old. She was born in St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands on August 24th, 1978. Steffans experienced challenges as she grew up that no youngster should have even considered being exposed to. She suffered both physical and emotional torment.
My mother always made me feel I was less than a person. She despised the fact that I received constant praise and she was worthy of none. Before I was born, she was the center, and now I had taken her shine. My purpose in life was supposed to be to keep my father with her, to make him love her.
And at the age of 13, she was sensually taken advantage of, and at the age of 16, she escaped her home. She was living on the streets. She decided to work as an exotic dancer to earn money to buy food and take care of her. She has written about her difficult upbringing. She lived in poverty as a child. She spent a month living on the streets. She first resided in Arizona and New York before relocating to Los Angeles in 1999. Steffans moved in with rapper Nathaniel Wilson, better known by his stage name Kool G Rap, when she was only 17 years old. They had a tumultuous relationship, to say the least, and according to Steffans, she was hospitalized for physical, brutality before leaving for Los Angeles to safeguard her kids. Her son and her entry into the rap scene were the only positive outcomes from her time spent with her tormenting ex-boyfriend. Because of this, she was able to pool her resources, use what she had learned, network her way into a part in Jay-Z's video. Additionally, Steffans has collaborated in videos with Mystikal, LL Cool J, and R. Kelly. Now let's talk about the book Scandal. Confessions of a Video Vixen, which was written in 2005, The Vixen Diaries, which was written in 2007, and The Vixen Manual, How to Find, Seduce, and Keep the Man You Want, written in 2009, are Karrine Steffans' first 3 books, and they have all reached the New York Times bestsellers list. She wrote her first book with her son in mind, and a portion of the sales revenue was given to the Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's my story, and it's not someone else's story or what I heard about something. It's me and my story, and I know that it's the story of other people.
It was a shock to everyone. It was before social media. Twitter wasn't a thing. Facebook was kind of a thing a little bit. Right. We didn't have Instagram. Those things didn't exist. Right. And I was the first social media. I let you see things that you'd never seen before.
The book was super scandalous, guys, and left everyone coming for Karrine Steffans, but in a very bad way. In the book, she admits to sleeping with Puff Daddy, DMX, Exhibit, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, Dr. Dre, Ice-T, Bobby Brown, Usher, Van Diesel, just to name a few. And even with all those names mentioned, Karine had this to say. She said, "There are some people who are very powerful, who I will never name, want to be able to work in this town when I'm done. That's why it's easy to give you throwaway names like Jay-Z. I'm not in a music business. I don't work for Def Jam," right?
The hoe of all hoes. She's vindictive. She's whack. Karine is nuts. The lady is a trash.
Now let's talk about Tyra. I just did a video on Tyra, and one of the things that was very problematic that Tyra did and that we're looking at years later, the interview she did with Karrine Steffans, and where she shamed her, basically wanted her to feel shame, like how dare you be confident in what you did. And I guess it was the times, because a lot of people that watched that episode was rooting Tyra on, you know. Even me as a kid, you watching, I'm watching because this is what I grew up in, the church, whatever. I was like, yeah. And Karine sadly was trying to explain how she was taken advantage of, you know, as 13. She was kidnapped for 3 days, and for 3 days the guy took advantage of her, and she got back home only for her mom to beat her up because she was missing for 3 days and didn't even want to hear what happened to her. Such trauma, you know. But Tyra didn't want to hear none of that. Tyra did not want to hear none of that. It did not make good TV. Tyra was like, skip through it. But anyways, you know what you did.
So do you think that you wrote this book because of revenge, out of revenge?
No, see, revenge is something that happens when people are miserable and upset and
but weren't
bitter.
you miserable and upset?
Not when
and
I wrote
bitter?
this book. Not when I wrote this book.
Karine, I have to disagree with you. Why name names?
People.
If there's no anger, why name the names?
Why not? It's just the truth. A lot of women have unrealistic views of this part of the industry. You have a lot of young girls who want to, at a very early age, just be video girls, and they think that that's modeling. I have to explain that that's not modeling, and I've never been a model, and that's not what it is, and that's not how it happens. They're actually changing their minds about what they thought the industry was like. I wish that I had, you know, people around me. I wish that I had a family base. A lot of women do have, and they have a family, and they have friends, and people who care, and they're educated better than I was. But many women and young girls aren't as educated as we should be. So I feel that people expect me to be ashamed. And all my life, I've been expected to be ashamed of who I am. And I'm not, and I think that it bothers a lot of people that I'm not ashamed.
I admire the fact that you're not ashamed. I think what bothers me is that I think you are a very smart woman, you're very articulate, and I think you do know exactly what you did. Okay. And I want you to be honest and sit here and be honest with me.
Well, you know what, I just wrote the book. I didn't hide names and places and dates to protect people. This isn't a book about protection, it's a book about honesty and confessions, both on my side and hopefully on theirs.
Karrine Steffans, thank you for being here, and thank you for being honest. You're dying inside, aren't you? I haven't been the hardest on you. I've seen your interviews, and there have been people that are super duper duper hard on you. This was actually a walk in the park.
Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it today.
So of course I can't put all the interview on this video, but yeah, so Tyra was like this example of what society was like to Karrine Steffans and women like her in that time. She was a pure example of that. She dismissed everything she said, and it seemed like even men, whoever interviewed Karrine Steffans, whenever she spoke about her trauma, they kind of skipped through it and went through the scandal, and they kind of just ignore that. And it's kind of like, no, we don't care about what made you become this person. We just care about what you did, you know? And Tyra was one of them. But Karine got her clap back, okay? And I personally, I'm not usually here for this, but I'm like, okay, sis, spill the tea, all right? She talks about Tyra in an interview with Cam Williams. Karine spilled the tea. Cam Williams asked her and said, you recently had a tiff with Tyra Banks during the taping of her new talk show. Do you care to share a side of it? And this is what she had to say. She said, there are a few things that tend to infuriate me. One is ignorance, because I have become accustomed to speaking to very intelligent people like Gore Vidal and Al Farrakhan on a regular basis since dating Bill Maher. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Intermission. Yeah, she speaks to people like Al Farrakhan. Child, yes. Nation of Islam leader. Okay, she lived a pretty interesting life. I'll just say that. To continue, she said, therefore, when I'm in an interview with someone who is not intelligent, but flat out ignorant, idiotic, and stupid, or just an ASS, it really gives me a headache. And then there are people like Tyra, who are hypocrites, women especially, who have slept their way through their whole careers. Yikes. And it's not a secret within the Hollywood circle. I've always heard about it from men we've both slept with. Yikes. Don't get me wrong, Tyra's done well for herself, she continues to say. You have to applaud her for all that she's achieved, coming from the model world and expanding, which is wonderful. But let's not pretend that you haven't done some of the people and things that I've done. When someone talks to me and they're personally attacking me because there's someone in my book that she's been with, because of the people that she slept with that we have in common, when you're making me seem like the bad one, like only I've slept around, like only I've dated famous people, then I find it necessary to say what you've done. We should just be honest. I have a list of names of people that she's been with, including women. Let's not go there, because I am the truth teller and I'll tell it all. So hopefully she realizes that now and she'll stay clear out of my way. End quote. Yikes. And Tyra haven't spoken on Karrine Steffans since, and I doubt she ever will. If someone threatened me like that and know all my dirt and what I've done, listen, I'm not responding to you. It's all quiet, sis. You got it. you win, you know. But Karine did handle herself pretty well on that interview, and if you even see the body language, oh, she was heated, but she was very articulate and answered very clearly. And that's what I'm talking about within the industry. I found very hypocritical is a lot of men, like even Irv Gotti, when he spoke on Karrine Steffans, when there was asked him, hey, would you let your daughter, because he thought it was okay to have all these video models in their video throwing champagne on them and doing all that. It was pretty degrading for women, period. I don't care if you're liberated. It was degrading. It was degrading because those same men that push this narrative of liberation that women eat up, those same men, like Irv Gotti said, he would never allow his daughter to be in a video with people throwing champagne on her, but he don't mind other women doing it. He don't care how old she is. He was like, no, ain't nobody doing that to my daughter. A lot of these men won't allow this to be done to their daughters or their granddaughters. So it's like, why do you find it okay to do that to someone else's daughter, someone else's granddaughter? Do you guys see the hypocrisy? And they all came for Karrine Steffans, but like, why no one came for the men that were married? It's like, oh, she knew these people were married, but didn't these people know they were married? Why no one came for them? Why is she the villain for exposing what they've done while they're already married?
That's not the case. First of all, that's not my personality. That's not my character. I have much more respect for myself than that. And that would never, ever happen. I don't care how hard times get or got. So
there's always going to be hoes everywhere. In every workplace, you got a hoe. I mean, that's fact. There's a hoe in you know, if you work at a hospital, if you work at a nail shop, you know your hoes. And she was just one of them. For you to try to ruin other people's lives and families, you knew these men were married. You knew what you played. You knew what part you were supposed to play, and put that out there. I can't respect that. I just can't respect her.
Within hip hop, within the industry, I think she was criticized and sort of frowned upon, and people didn't want their business out in the streets. But when I think about that, I think of, well, if you could rap about her in a record or rap about another woman in a record, then she had the right to tell her story in a book.
There was a lot of hypocrisy in her case, and it's kind of infuriating as I was researching, like, why is the focus on her? She's just saying what happens. I'm sure Karrine Steffans was not the only woman that these men slept with or entertained. They had a plethora of them. I just find it so hypocritical how everyone, and even women alike that were coming for her, that did the same thing. A lot of video vixens of that time wanted to remove themselves from Karrine Steffans because they was like, oh, now she got everybody labeled on all of us as that. Not saying all of them did participate in this, but a large majority of them did, and they tried to hide that by coming at Karine and saying she's an isolated situation and she's evil and conniving, because you don't want to mess up your bag with future men who now see you as a stain and they're scared to mess with you because they don't know if you're going to be the next Karrine Steffans, you know what I mean? Or because you don't want to change your life when you have kids and marry and settle down and not be in that life for people to think that, oh, you were a video vixen. When they hear that, they think that you were doing all of these things too, that you went and trashed her, when you're no better than Karrine Steffans because you participated in that life, you know what I mean? And a lot of them, like the Tyras, not saying it's true because I don't know Tyra's business, but there are a lot of self-righteous people that you dig behind. They're not even here on YouTube. There's a lot of people that will preach to preach and not live in the life they're preaching. Okay, there's a lot of frauds that will preach to y'all and appear in this life that they're not living at all. It's completely the opposite, and they know it. They sit up here with no shame, and they will shame everybody else, be extra hard on everybody else and their lifestyle, and always have a criticism, and they hide behind that, and no one knows how they really living. And when you find out how these people are really living, it's shocking. I don't no doubt say that, but many people in the industry slept their way to the top, men and women alike. Okay, even with old Hollywood, look at poor Marilyn Monroe, you know what I mean? So this happens, and then these same women, because they have a cookie cutter cute image, that they, you know, terrorize other women because their stuff is not exposed. So I didn't like how all the other video vixens kind of just shamed her, when it's like, sis, you were on these videos with your body in a way also. Like, why are you acting brand new? And you know it's shady industry. Like, let's not lie. Let's not dogpile on her because she's exposing things for what it is. But let's get into the relationships. According to FamousHookups.com, Karrine Steffans is currently single, but she has been in 72 celebrity relationships. Karrine Steffans dated Columbus Short in the past, but they broke up on March 29, 2016, and they dated for about 5 months. According to Page 6, Steffans told Page 6 that she suspects Shorts may have been married to another woman when he married her. although she insists she didn't know he was married at the time. And she says that he tried to get back with her once he had moved on to his next wife. During her appearance on Good Moms, Bad Choices, The Confessions of a Video Vixen, author recalls the time when she dated Bow Wow and Lil Wayne while she was still married. She loved her some Lil Wayne, okay? She can't even talk about him without giggling. But what was most shocking to all was her dating Darius McCrary from Family Matters, you know, Eddie Winslow. And he says that Bobby Brown tried to warn him about dating Karine Steffans, because Karine Steffans dated Bobby Brown too, and then she had exposed him in a video, him sleeping on her couch and stuff as revenge. Like, she just be exposing people. And they were married for 7 months though, her and Eddie Winslow, okay? And he was, although he kind of, you know, slandered her name a little bit, accused her of being violent with her child, he did have some nice things to say about her too. He added that his relationship with Karine was tumultuous because they were young. At that time, I wasn't aware that beautiful women are like exotic cars, he said. They take a lot of maintenance. You take a Rolls Royce, the brake job is $10,000 alone. You can't just run a Rolls Royce if you're not expecting to pay for that brake job. It'd be like that. It was a very expensive and tumultuous situation, and it pretty much the reason why I don't drive Rolls Royce, aka date pretty women anymore. The actor shared a story of attending a George Clinton concert with Karine as his date, and he said, everyone was so shocked when I walked into the room with her. Whoa, she was looking hot. She's a gorgeous woman. She's beautiful. I mean, she's amazing in so many ways. What attracted me to Karine wasn't her body, it was her mind. So you put that kind of mind into that kind of body, and it's dangerous. We fell in love. Man, we were headed 95 miles an hour going south on the interstate. It was amazing, end quote. 2005, Bill Maher began dating Karine Steffans. The couple broke up in 2006, but it seems like they were both on good terms. When Steffans commented on all the men she has been with in bed, she said that nobody compared to Maher. She said, it took a lot to impress me. Bill was my perfect match. Steffans was with Shaq during the peak of his career. The pair dated from 2004 to 2005, and Karine Steffans described her affair with Shaquille O'Neal in 2 precise words: was generous. Shaq's generosity is no secret, and apparently the Lakers legend used to cut fat checks to make up for his absence in person. She had hookups with people like Eminem, Big Boy, DMX, Mos Def, Maze, Timbaland, Lorenz Tate, Master P, Ray J, Pusha T, Busta Rhymes, allegedly Drake, Nelly, Trick Daddy, Irv Gotti, Russell Simmons, Andre 3000, Common, Nas, Rotimi, which shocked me, but Rotimi denied it, but most of these men do. Snoop Dogg denied being with her too, but he denied being with Selena Powell, just saying, and then she had the receipts, just saying. Method Man, Neo, and she was with more huge profile celebrities, okay? I'm not gonna name them all, child, but this was the life of Karine Steffans, and I just have this to say. I'm not taking up for her. That's not what I'm doing. But it's definitely a lot of hypocrisy in the industry. And if you're going to judge Karine Steffans, then a lot of your faves will have to get judgments, even the ones with the cookie cutter image. I've done enough breakdowns with enough celebrities for y'all to know by now that these people live a completely different life behind the scenes. All these people will be in a room just having their way with each other, all of them together, okay? So it's real out there. It's real out there. So don't fall for it, the self-righteousness. And I think that's what annoyed Karine Steffans so much, to speak out against Tyra and other women and be like, I don't care what y'all say about me, because y'all do this thing too. And apparently these men don't care too, because they continue to date her. They continue to be infatuated with her. I mean, Eddie Winslow married her after all of this scandal, and men still be sliding into her DMs trying to date her and marry her. Even, it's not just one night stands with her either. Some of these men try to marry her, and she's always been able to maintain a relationship. So it shows all the outrage that these people do is so unserious, because this woman still has her way. And you can have a saint who goes by the book and does everything well and single for a very long time. I'm not saying to go out there and live recklessly, but don't fall for the smoke. If you like the music you're listening to in the background, the music link is in the description. Support my brother. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time.